Anna was determined that in celebrating her own mother, Mother's Day should extend to all mothers. Clearly she hadn't seen Medea. Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to your mum. With this weekend marking the second Sunday in May, that means it's Mother's Day, or Father's Day if you're one of my 6 viewers in Romania. Over the years, there have been some brilliant mothers. I should know, I have one. There have also been some terrible ones, and I think it's important to mention that for the sake of balance. But while the second Sunday in May does mark Mother's Day in the US and 54 other countries, Britain observed it way back in March. In this video, the mother of all questions is this: why did the two countries observe Mother's Day on different dates? And the short answer is, they don't. You heard me, they don't. What, do you think this was going to be easy? I never make things easy. What Britain has come to call Mother's Day is not precisely what Americans call Mother's Day. Basically, the two observances entered the world along different lineages. Don't believe me? Well, earlier today I had both observances take the historian's answer to a maternity test. Here's what we found. The British Isles has observed Mother's Day since the 16th century, but the tradition was once significantly different to what it is today. First of all, it began as an observance within the Christian Church. Its initial purpose was to celebrate not the woman who brought you into the world, but the Mother Church, a term used to depict places of worship as matriarchal protectors, sort of like Ripley at the end of Aliens. After a while, new and exciting components were added. Domestic servants were given leave to visit their mother churches, often with their mothers in tow. For some, this would have meant a welcome respite from the drudgery of hard labour. For others, it would have meant the added drudgery of attending church with their mums. The practice evolved further when child servants were given leave to spend time with their families. Out of this, a tradition emerged in which children would pick flowers for their mums, the 19th century equivalent of adding carnations to your Amazon shopping cart. For these early traditions, an observance known as Mothering Sunday was born. It would be held, as it is today, on the 4th Sunday of Lent, 3 weeks before Easter. And this was significant because it meant that mums would finally receive their Mother's Day card the same day their children got their Easter eggs, although that might have just been my family. But in the early 20th century, public interest in the observance began to wane. Step forward Constance Adelaide Smith, the most 19th century sounding person since Wilkins Micawber. In 1913, she was inspired by the work of an American whose key role in this story will soon be revealed. Smith wanted to bring back Mothering Sunday in the same vein as its burgeoning American counterpart, and so founded the Mothering Sunday movement. Her work led to the re-emergence of Mothering Sunday, and the now partly secular tradition spread throughout the UK. And in case you were wondering, my reference earlier to Mother's Day cards and Easter eggs was completely intentional. Mothering Sunday, inspired by developments in the United States, would be packaged up and monetized for consumers. The name Mothering Sunday would also become interchangeable with the name Mother's Day and remain so to this day. And Mum, since I live in the United States, it was this confusion that prevented your card from getting there on time, and the fact that I was in quarantine. So now, the last remaining question to be born and raised is this: how did a different Mother's Day emerge in the United States? The origins of Mother's Day in the United States bear no link to Mothering Sunday and can be traced directly to one woman, Anna Jarvis. A resident of Philadelphia, the one in Pennsylvania, not the one in northeast England, Jarvis maintained a lifelong bond with her mother. Indeed, it was the latter who planted the seeds for her young daughter's eventual pursuit of Mother's Day, which screams conflict of interest. When Anna was 12, Mother Jarvis imparted on her the following: I hope and pray that someone sometime will found a memorial Mother's Day commemorating her for the matchless service she renders to humanity in every field of life. No one does subtle hints like mums. Whatever the approach, it worked. On May 9th, 1908, Anna Jarvis, now in her 40s, quietly marked the first Mother's Day in America. The problem for Mother Jarvis is that it was specifically designed to commemorate the 3rd anniversary of Mother Jarvis's death. Ultimately, of course, it would inform the date Americans celebrate it today, the 2nd Sunday in May. Indeed, Anna was determined that in celebrating her own mother, Mother's Day should extend to all mothers. Clearly she hadn't seen Medea. She valued the symbolic significance of the white and red carnation emblems and used them to represent mothers deceased and living, respectively. This simple formula was at the heart of both her plan to celebrate motherhood and her eventual opposition to the commercial endeavors that co-opted it. In the 1920s, as Mother's Day began to spread around the US, confectioners, florists, and the greeting card industry sought ways to monetize the second Sunday in May, even going as far to price gouge white and red carnations. This led Anna to feel deep regret at having founded Mother's Day. "A printing card means nothing," she said, "except that you are too lazy to write to the woman who has done more for you than anyone in the world. And candy, you take a box to Mother and then eat most of it for yourself. I feel so attacked." As her creation lined the pockets of American companies, Anna herself fell on financially hard times and was forced to move in with her sister. In one last desperate attempt to correct the issue, World War II saw her petition to have rescinded the very observance she had founded prior to World War I. Before the petition could gather momentum, however, she was placed in a sanitarium in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where her bills were paid for by the greeting card and floral industries, not as a symbolic gesture of goodwill, but because they had some mysterious motive for keeping her there. She died in 1948, and the commercial juggernaut that is Mother's Day rolls on in Britain, America, and around the world. And that's the story of why Britain and America celebrate Mother's Day on different dates. Happy Mother's Day, especially to my own. Follow me on Twitter at LostInThePondUS, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. Research for today's video was made possible by my patrons, of whom there are almost 200. Want to help us get there? Become a patron today at patreon.com/lostinthepond. And we're live. It is a sequel to... Are you okay?
Just hit my head.
You hit your head? Well, hold on a sec. Let me... Oh! I've got the other camera going. We didn't quite film it.